Hello students, welcome back after a long time. Okay, there is huge gap in between this video and my last video. Uh, Anyways, let's continue. Now here in this video I am going to discuss with you the transcription process. Okay, this is the process that comes under our central dogma, where we have studied already the replication. Now we are going to see into the transcription process. Okay, transcription is a process where DNA, from the DNA strand, the mRNA is produced. Okay, so the production or the formation or synthesis of the mRNA, okay, that is the RNA strand from the DNA, is known as the transcription process of transcription. Okay, so which ultimately this RNA, which ultimately undergo a process of translation again, that again we will see the mechanism, and it will be ultimately producing the proteins. Okay, so here I am going to discuss with you the transcription mechanism, but before getting into the process, the detail of mechanism of the transcribing the RNA, I would like to share with you the structure. This is a structure of a transcription unit, okay, which involved in this process. See, this is the DNA strand, okay, because from the DNA only the transcription that takes place. So this is the DNA strand. Two strands are there. One you can see 3' to 5'. Another one is 5' to 3' strand of the DNA. Okay, this is a figure of transcription unit, you can say. So let me write it here. Transcription unit. Okay, this diagram. Okay, now see this, the transcription unit. This is how to define it. How to define this unit? The segment of DNA which involved in transcribing mRNA. The segment of DNA which involved in transcribing mRNA is known as the transcription unit. So this is the segment of DNA which involved in the process. Now this transcription unit, we can divide it into three different segments, the region. First is the promoter region that you can see here. First is the promoter region, second is the terminator region, and third is the structural gene. Okay, so first, second and third segment, or first, second and third segment. In this way, okay, we can divide the segment of DNA into three different regions. So first let us see the promoter region. Okay, promoter region is actually, this is the site where the RNA polymerase supposed to bind, okay, and initiate the polymerization of RNA strand. Understood? This is a site which will promote the RNA strand synthesis by the binding of the RNA polymerase into this sequence, in this promoter region. Okay, this promoter region, there is a, what is present here, obviously the entire DNA strand, which is the nucleotide molecule sequence. Okay, so the functional sequence present in this promoter region, okay, is basically is known as actually consensus sequence, or you can say consensus region. Okay, the functional region, so the functional sequence found in the promoter region known as consensus region. And what is that sequence? The sequence is 5' TATAAT 3'. This is the sequence, functional sequence known as the consensus region found in the promoter region. This is the sequence where the RNA polymerase binds, identifies this sequence here and binds here. So this sequence is found here, okay, in the promoter region, functional sequence. Now this is TM is thymine adenine, you can understand this part. Now this sequence is also known as, in short, Tata box. Understood? TATAAT. So in short, Tata box. Clear? Thymine, adenine, thymine, adenine, adenine, and thymine. This is the sequence here. So this Tata box is the functional sequence in the promoter region. In the prokaryotes, this Tata box is also known as Pridna box. Where? In prokaryotes. So in prokaryotes, we call this functional sequence as Pridna box by the name of David Pridnow, the scientist. Okay, and in eukaryotes, we call this Tata box as Goldberg Hogness box, right? Yeah. So Goldberg Hogness box, again by the name of the scientist Goldberg Hogness. So same, the Tata box only named in the prokaryotes and in the eukaryotes separately. Okay, Pridnow box or Goldberg Hogness box. So this is what the consensus or the Tata box here. Now let us go to this terminator region. Okay, so we have understood what happens in the promoter region. Terminator region, what happens here? The terminates. Here the transcription process terminates, stops. Okay, a special sequence here found, which is the GC stretch. Okay, guanine cytosine stretch. Two or more stretches of guanine cytosine, okay, found in this terminator region. Okay, where the process of transcription stops. Okay, now where exactly, now if you look into this, okay, let us first complete the structural gene, then I will go to the next topic. Structural gene, the third part of this unit. Okay, structural gene, you can define it as, it is the sequence, it is the portion of the DNA, is the sequence of the DNA where nucleotide molecules are there, which are responsible for coding. Okay, which are responsible for coding for the mRNA and ultimately produces protein. So structural gene is the nucleotide molecule sequence which actually code for the mRNA. Okay, and then the protein. That is the structural gene. Scientist Beson named this structural gene as cistron. Okay, so we also call it as cistron area. Now in eukaryotes and prokaryotes, the cistron is little different. How? In the prokaryotes, this is polycistronic area. This is polycistronic in prokaryotes. Okay, but in eukaryotes, it is monocistronic nature. In eukaryotes, what is the difference? Polycistronic means in the prokaryotes, this cistron, this structural gene can code for many, more than one polypeptide chains. Means then it will code for, first of all, the structural gene in the prokaryote will code for one mRNA, and that mRNA will ultimately code for more than one polypeptide chain. That is why it is known as polycistronic region. In eukaryotes, this structural gene of the cistron part will code for only one, first will code for one mRNA, and that one mRNA will code for only one polypeptide chain. Clear? So in the polycistronic, what I say that this structural gene will produce one mRNA that will transcribe one mRNA, that mRNA will be producing more than one polypeptide chain. But here, after transcription of mRNA, only one polypeptide chain produced. That is in case of eukaryotes. So it is known as monocistronic area. Clear? So this is what the basic structure. And let me tell you few more things here. See, this you can see, this is the initiator codon area. This is the initiator codon area. Actually, from here, the transcription starts and transcription ends up here. Clear? So if I draw this part, if I the green part, if I draw, starts from here and till here. This is the transcription RNA coding sequence. This is the area where this is the part. Okay, RNA synthesis starts from here. Transcription starts from here and it ends up here. I hope you understood this part. Okay. So you can see here RNA coding. This part you can say RNA coding sequence. Start here, ends up here. Now this part on the left side of this coding sequence is known as the upstream, where we see the promoter area, and on the downstream we see the structural gene and the terminator area. Clear? This coding sequence is also known as sense strand, while this template strand is also known as antisense strand. Okay, the RNA synthesis or transcription that will start from this point, from this area, will be from 5' to 3' direction. So as it is the template strand, you can see this is the template strand. 3' to 5' is the template strand. So template strand means is the parent strand, means from where actually the transcription will take place. And let me tell you, the transcription, that is the formation of mRNA, will be only from one strand of DNA. Okay, in the replication you have seen the DNA produced from two different both the strands of DNA, but here the mRNA will be produced only from one strand, that is the template strand or the parent strand. Clear? So this is the strand. Now it will start from here, transcription, and it will be in this direction, the process of transcription of mRNA. So if this is the 3', this is the 5', this is the 3' direction. So transcription of mRNA will take place 5' to 3' direction. Clear? This is for the basic thing. Okay. Now I will be explaining to you the mechanism, how it. If this is clear, this part, this much of conception, then I will be starting now with the process, the mechanism of transcription. Okay. See, first for this strand, and if you know that RNA or the mRNA is a single strand, not double strand like DNA. Okay, so only one strand will be developed here, and you can see from this template strand only it will be formed. Clear? So to form this chain or the strand of the RNA, what we need? We need nucleotide molecules, like as it was in the DNA. The nucleotide molecules are required, but in DNA those were the deoxyribonucleotide molecules, but here we need ribonucleotide molecules only. Clear? So I'm just rubbing this part. I have to write few things here. Okay, see, this first of all what we need, ribonucleotide molecules, because these molecules only one after another they will bind and they will be forming the strand. So this first point of the mechanism is activation of the ribonucleotides. Okay, what are those ribonucleotides required? 4 different types of ribonucleotide required for the process synthesis of the RNA strand. What are those? These are the AMP, adenosine monophosphate, then GMP, guanosine monophosphate, UMP, uridine monophosphate, and CMP, cytidine monophosphate. These are the ribonucleotide molecules which will be required. Now we have to make these nucleotide molecules needs to be activated, because right now they are in inactivate mode. Okay, so how to activate? By the process of phosphorylation. Okay, that is by adding 2 phosphate group here. With all each of these molecules, 2 phosphate group will be binded together, and the enzyme phosphorylase will be required with the help of ATP. In the presence of ATP molecule, which is the energy unit, and it will be then converted into AMP will be converted into ATP, GMP into GTP, UMP into UTP, and CMP into CTP. So as binding 2-phosphate group to each of these molecules, so it becomes from monophosphate to triphosphate. Mono is 1, tri means 3. So 2 extra added with mono, so it becomes tri. So adenosine triphosphate, guanosine triphosphate, uridine triphosphate, and cytidine triphosphate. This is what we got here, activated ribonucleotide molecules. Clear? Okay. So now the next part, we are going to next point of this mechanism is the recognition of the promoter sequence and the binding of the RNA polymerase to this promoter area. Okay. So RNA polymerase is the only enzyme that involved in this mechanism in the process. Okay. So it will first identify the promoter region. If you remember the sequence, Tata box. Okay. So the sequence RNA polymerase will be identify the sequence here, the functional sequence here, and it will bind here. Clear? Well, now it is said here that there is a particular sequence, particular factor there known as the sigma factor. Sigma factor. This is the structural unit of RNA polymerase. Okay. This factor is actually identify the functional sequence present here. Okay. It is the 5' TA T 3'. Clear? Tata box. So this sigma factor will identify this sequence and will help the RNA polymerase to bind here. Clear? Now once it binds here, now what will happen next? Next is that this RNA polymerase, what is binding here? RNA polymerase enzyme. Okay? RNA polymerase enzyme. Now once it binds, okay, the RNA polymerase will start a local unwinding and the separation of the DNA strand. So this unwinding will start at the center of the Tata box. Clear? This unwinding of the DNA strand, these two DNA strands are bonded by hydrogen bond, if you know. Okay, so once the RNA polymerase bind here, it will start, unwinding the DNA strands from the center of the Tata box. Clear? And then once it starts separating the the hydrogen bonds, you can understand a bubble will be formed. It looks like this. Initially, if I see the DNA strand like this sequence, so hydrogen bonds are here. Clear? Now what happens? Now the bonds are broken. Okay, so once the bonds are broken, now how the strands will look like? Understood? The hydrogen bonds are broken here. So this bubble-like structure will be formed called transcription bubble. Okay, this is known as the transcription bubble. Clear? This will be formed and ultimately the entire DNA strand is going to separate from each other. That is done by the RNA polymerase itself. Okay. So now remember one thing, before the formation of this bubble, one special thing is required. A signal must come from the cytoplasm, and that signal will help in separating the histone proteins from the DNA strand. If you know that histone proteins are always in the DNA strand, so histone proteins first of all needs to be removed out from the DNA. Then only, okay, the nitrogenous bases in the DNA will be exposed. Okay, once the nitrogenous bases got exposed, then only the sigma factor will be able to recognize this sequence. Because you can see these are nothing but nitrogenous base sequence. Understood? That is why the histone proteins needs to be removed first from the DNA. and then the nitrogenous base sequences will be exposed, and then the sigma factor will be able to identify the sequence where the RNA polymerase is going to bind. Okay, and then this bubble will be developed, will be formed. Okay, so once it happens, you can see that all entire the sequence of the DNA is going to exposed. Okay, separate from the each other. Okay, now the next part is the once the separation is done, the bubble is formed. Okay, the separating of the DNA is happening now. The next is the base pairing. Base pairing will take place according to the Watson and Crick, as he described. Base pairing. Okay, it means that base pairing according to the template strand. Okay, whatever the sequences are there, according to that the nitrogenous bases will be coming, will be adding to the nuclear molecules. So suppose any sequence, if you say for example the sequence is A, U, C, G, U, G, like this. Okay, this is the, I am talking about the template strand sequence, just for example. Okay, so the nitrogenous bases accordingly will be forming the pairing with this. According to that, the nuclear molecules will be coming. Okay, suppose if this is the A here, what do you think? Which of these the base pairing will come here? UTP will come. Okay, this will come. This molecule is going to come here. So when this nuclear molecule comes here, this U, the UTP is going to bind their hydrogen bond. Next is U. Which one you think will come? This will come. So A. Okay. Next, if it is C here, this will come. G, GTP. So once GTP comes, so G will bind with C. Right? 1-oxide triphosphate. Next, if it is G here, CTP will come here now. CTP, cytosine, this cytosine will come and bind with the G. Like this, if it is U here, again A will come, G here, C will come. Understood? So these are the nitrogenous bases coming from these molecules, nucleotide molecules. So nucleotide molecules are coming and arranging here, and the nitrogenous bases binding, base pairing with this, the nitrogenous bases of the template strand. So this is how the sequence will be formed like this. Okay, so this is the base pairing. So base pairing first of all will take place. Okay, now once the base pairing, once the bases comes and binds here, once the nitrogenous bases comes and binds here, actually what happens is that this is not the elongation process, I am not going to tell now. Let us first say this binding of the nitrogenous bases, okay, to the nucleotide molecule. So once the nitrogenous base comes and binds here, this molecule goes and bind here, what will happen is that these molecules will lose their high energy. What is it? Look the sentence here. The various ribonucleotide triphosphates on linking to the DNA template chain break off their high energy bonds. So once this molecule binds with the DNA strand, they will break off their high energy bonds. This changes them into ribonucleoside monophosphate, and pyrophosphate groups are set free. So once this nuclear molecule binds here, okay, they will lose their high energy. It means that again they will be converted into monophosphate form. They are energized. They got bind here. Once they bind here, the extra energy will be released. So again they will convert into this form: AMP, GMP, CMP, and UMP. And pyrophosphate group will be separated because extra phosphate group was also there. So pyrophosphate group will be set free. This pyrophosphate, okay, right here like this. This pyrophosphate, okay, will be hydrolyzed. So H2O, okay, and the inorganic phosphate along with the energy is going to be released. So once the base pairing is done, okay, these molecules will lose their energy. It will convert into again monophosphate form, and this pyrophosphate will be set free. This will bind with hydrogen, water, so hydrolyzed, and then inorganic phosphate energy will be released. This happened what? After base pairing. Okay. Now next is the formation and elongation of RNA chain. So once the molecules comes, now the elongation of chain will start. That means one after another the molecule is going to bind here. Elongation, chain is elongating, formation of the chain that takes place. See, this elongation of this chain takes place with the help of, okay, number one, what we need, what is required for the elongation of the chain? Number one, RNA polymerase is required. As I said, only one enzyme is involved in the process. Second, it needs magnesium ion. Third, it is manganese ion. These are the three compulsory essential elements which are components which are required for the elongation of the chain. Okay. See. Now, once this RNA polymerase elongates one after another, okay, the polymerization that is taking place, one after another the molecule is coming and forming the chain. Ultimately, it will terminate, comes here. This chain will keep continuing formation and it will stop here. It will stop here. End of terminal area. It will stop there. Okay. It will stop there with by means of a protein known as Rho factor. Okay, RNA polymerase enzyme will keep on elongating the chain and it will terminate here by means of a protein factor known as Rho factor. Okay, Rho factor is very important here. First of all, Rho factor terminates the process of transcription. How? The Rho factor separates the RNA polymerase. Okay, so I am writing the function of Rho factor here. Rho factor is very important. First of all, what it does is separate the RNA polymerase. Separate the RNA polymerase from the DNA strand. So once the RNA polymerase is separated, the process of transcription will stop automatically because RNA polymerase is the only enzyme that is elongating the chain. So ultimately, what will happen is the transcription terminates. Clear? And once the transcription is done, it means the chain, the RNA chain comes here and stops here. Till here it is done. So here it is the, I am writing 3 prime here now. So it stops here. So entire chain formation is done. Entire chain formation is done till here and it is done. Now it is transcription, it stops here. Once this is done, now Rho factor will separate this newly formed strand from the newly formed RNA strand from the DNA. Okay. So third point we can write, it separates newly formed RNA strand from DNA. Clear? So this is what a very important role played by the RNA factor here in the process of transcription. Clear? Okay. Now next is, this is what the termination, elongation and termination is done. Now once the chain is separated, the newly formed strand is separated, you can understand that our job is done. Our job is done. Now there is a post-transcriptional process, but in majority of the cases, okay, in the prokaryotes, post-transcriptional process is not required. But in some cases, we see that the newly formed mRNA strand, the RNA strand, which is inactive in nature. So the inactive mRNA is required to undergo some post-transcriptional process to make it activated. And this post-transcriptional process is as same as it happens in the eukaryotes, because in eukaryotes compulsorily once this strand is formed, needs to undergo post-transcriptional mechanism. This is as same as it happened in some cases of prokaryotes. Clear? So that is what at the end point you can write post-transcriptional mechanism, which is in majority of the prokaryotes it is not required. Okay, in some cases it is required post-transcriptional process. Okay, so this process of post-transcription, you can say our transcription mechanism is done here. This much is your answer if it is asked transcription in prokaryotes. Clear? Now if it is asked transcription in eukaryotes, the entire mechanism will remain same till here. After this, now post-transcription mechanism will start in case of eukaryotes. Okay, so that I will explain in my next video. It will be a small video where I will be explaining only the post-transcriptional mechanism that happens in the eukaryotes mainly. Okay, so I hope you understood the process of transcription, how it is happened. Okay, last but not least, I just want to mention one very important thing here. See, this is the template strand, this is the coding strand. Now question comes that why this strand is known as coding strand. Coding strand means what? From where a new strand is coded. The meaning is this. But in this mechanism, is there any role in transcribing this RNA? Is there any role of this 5' 3' strand in forming this mRNA? There is no role. Then why this is named as coding strand? It is because if you look at the newly formed strand, it is as same as of this strand. This is 5' 3', this is also 5' 3'. If you look at the base pairing also, it will be as same as of this newly formed strand. The bases here will be same. Only one difference will be there, that in case of uracil here, it will be here thymine. That's it. Rest all sequencing of the nitrogenous bases will be same in this DNA, this strand and this RNA strand. Because of this similarity, we are calling this strand as a coding strand. Clear? So I hope it's clear to you. Just wait for my next video where I'll be explaining to you the post-transcriptional mechanism of transcription. Okay, thank you so much.